Today's special guest is Claud Jackson, ordinand and author of Guns to Gods. Man, good to have you here.
Bro, it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you, brother.
Nah, man, I appreciate you coming down. You drove down today for us. Got nothing but love for you on that one.
Yeah, man.
Bruv, take us back to the beginning.
Oh, mate, I'm one of six. My parents are from a multicultural background, so my mum's English, my dad's Jamaican.
Yeah.
I grew up in Tooting. My nan lived in Brixton. And the household was a dysfunctional environment. There was domestic violence. There was, it was always high energy, always intense, the home life.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so when you say high energy, you mean like aggressive high energy, or just like 6 kids just running wild and just being like,
I think a bit of both in regards to, we were raised very strict discipline, like to be seen and not heard.
Yeah, yeah.
So my dad had the undercurrent of like passive aggressive and then borderline aggressive. So we were kind of always walking on eggshells. And then when we were in our room at the back of the house or wherever the case may be, we were always scrapping or playing the computer, or it's my go, it's this, you know. And my eldest brother, I'm the youngest of the 6.
So you got 6, so what is that, all boys or boys and girls?
That's 5 boys, 1 girl.
Wait, sorry for the boyfriends.
Yeah, brother. And, my eldest brother in his early teens, he moved out to go and live with my nan in Brixton. Mm-hmm. And he would come back regularly and tell us stories of things he'd done. So he got into a life of crime very quickly, very early on. Do
you think that's because he moved to Brixton? Or because he was just on that path there, that's why he left, to try and get away from it, but it still followed him?
Oh, so great question, Paul. I reckon probably a bit of both. I think the dysfunction had set in early. Mm-hmm. None of us really went to school much. And when we was in the holidays and stuff, we went to work with my dad, who was a carpenter. My older brothers and siblings really did that all their lives, but I didn't really. But we were really raised with that iron fist of, if someone starts on you, you finish it. Yeah. If someone hits you, you hit them back. You know that old school hit them twice as hard as they hit you.
Yeah, I grew up the same way.
All of that, bruv, yeah. So it was a case of like, when we'd go home, if I had a fight in school, and I didn't enjoy school at all, but if I had a fight in school, my dad would say, and what did you do? And so we got a lot of gratification and value and self-worth and praise from that dysfunction and violence. Yeah. So to come back to your question, when my brother left, he had already equipped himself with that mentality. Mm-hmm. So I think he took it into the streets. What happened to be very welcoming, Brixton back then, it wasn't as gentrified as it is now. Mm-hmm. And it's a fabulous place, but there were pockets of wrong crowds and violent places, as there is in all areas. So he naturally gravitated towards that. And he'd come home, occasionally bring some of his friends or come on his own. And I remember very early on, actually, he would come back and he'd have a knife or knuckle dusters or something. And we, all the boys would gather round to have a look, and I'd be among them. Although as little as I was, they let me in. It was just that sort of... Little, in age, not size. And then,
you come in and say, I don't think you've ever been little.
I'm a big lad. But, so I'd force my way in to have a look at whatever he had. And once, they were at the back room, and I noticed everyone was gone, like we were all playing. Then one by one, everyone was sneaking off. So I went down to have a look, and they were all huddled over in a group, whispering and having a look. So I'm thinking, what's he got? And I forced my way into the circle, and they're handing around the gun. My siblings, one by one. I was about 6 or 7 at the time. And as it went round, I protested for my turn, because that's what was normal. Let me have a look.
Let me see.
Yeah, bro.
I'm in the circle, man.
I went in, and even actually, it's funny because even at that age, like you said, I'm in the like we want to be recognised, don't we? We want to be seen. And someone, the brother older to me, he handed it over. At first, someone weren't going to let me have a look, and my older brother said, "Yeah, let him have a look," and they handed it over. And I think that was the first point of, I really thought, like, wow, this, even at 6, 7 years old, I could tell it was a machine made for destruction.
Yeah.
And the weight, I remember how cold it felt, and I remember the weight. I was really, and throughout life, that was something that come back to haunt me with firearms. I would always remember the weight, and things sort of spiraled from there out, to be honest, I think.
I'll take back to the weight. When I held my first one, I was shocked with how heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was totally shocked. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then, of course, firing one as well, the blowback. Yeah. It totally shocked me, man. Like, I was in a, like, how is people just like whipping these out in the movies?
Yeah.
How are they just whipping these out, just being like, pow, 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 or, you know, and you saw that and you just think to yourself, but then when you get it in your hands, you're just like, you know, that feeling that comes over.
Yeah.
You know that.
And you become so desensitized to it, just like the thing with the films, like you were saying. I often say to people, you know, these drug dealers or gangsters, whatever you like to call them, aren't making as much as they're saying they are, or they're not doing what they're saying they're doing, because when you're really there, there's a certain amount of money you'd make, or you know, a gun can't be shot at a certain angle because it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, like when they turn it to the side and stuff. But like, you're right when it comes to the money that a lot of these drug dealers are now with social media posting online that they've got wads of cash and they're putting them against their ear and stuff. But don't get me wrong, some of them probably have got that amount of cash, but they're probably showing that half of that cash is to pay their re-ups and to pay their dealers and to pay their workers and that lot. So that wad of money that goes like that ends up going to like your wallet.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Having sold drugs more or less 20 years, 17 years. So from when my brother shortly went to prison afterwards, and I remember after I held that gun, I remember I went into school, my brother was in jail, and I remember I was carrying this burden, because like I said, back then, now everyone goes to prison, or everyone knows someone in prison, but back then it was still very secretive and frowned upon almost. And I remember carrying that burden, and then my best mate, like, I said, I want to tell you something, but I don't know, you know, I was only like, at that stage, it was probably about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And then he said, what is it? I told him my brother's in Pentonville at the time.
What did he go to jail for?
It was a different offence where somebody got held beyond their will, basically. Yeah.
So he would have carried a little bit of a sentence on that one. So the person that you I'll try to get at is the person that you were looking up to that was almost getting you into that lifestyle with how you feel is now gone for a little bit. So you're probably now thinking you now have to fill his shoes, no?
Absolutely. Well, you're absolutely right, and that's such a good point, because Christmas come around, and you know, we're writing to him in Christmas and drawing the Christmas tree, and then, you know, birthdays, you're sending in the cards and that. So that side of things, being at such a young age, it really took its toll on me. And then I told my best mate in school, he said he wouldn't tell anyone, as kids do, went off and told everyone. So then in school I felt like I was being scrutinised. And
do you feel like, I don't mean to cut you off there, man, do you feel like that your friend, because your friend may not have been of that life, I don't know, do you think that he was trying to grab some reputational gratification from others, knowing that his best friend has got a gun? So he was getting the rep without actually doing anything because you were doing it. Yeah,
definitely. That's definitely a possibility, isn't it? Because as we get older, I think adults, and that's a fabulous point, bro, because I think adults, I'd really like to know how much of the decisions we make are based on other people's lifestyles and what they're going to think of us, and are we going to find value in other people, which is just mad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spent a little time at school. The family home got repossessed, so we moved from Tooting to Mitcham, from Mitcham to Surrey, where there were 7 of us in a 2-bedroom, very small townhouse. And as a result of lack of space, I slept under the stairs. My other brother slept on the front room floor. And then my sister had one of the small box room, and obviously my parents had the main room. And life was just very difficult for a very long time. The school I got moved to was about 500-600 students. I was one of 3 boys of colour. And that become very prominent. I grew up in a mixed heritage home,
Yeah.
went to a mixed school, never heard racism in my entire life.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. And then went to Surrey, boom, encountered racism. So it's just one challenge after another.
How did the racism set in with you? Like, do you obviously, because you've never encountered it, you now have been like, as far as you're aware, you're a black man that's like, or a child that's walking around normal with everyone else, and then all of a sudden, bang, you are the alien. You're like, well, what's the matter with me? Like, this has never been a problem. How did that affect you?
Yeah, mate, it was literally like that. It was literally as black and white as that. It's just, we moved up there, and I saw like Asians being targeted, and there was only 2 black guys in my year, and believe it or not, one of them used to be racial to the other one because they were so insecure.
Oh yeah.
So he would be racial to the other one just to gain favour from the bullies. So then my brothers weren't having any sort of drama. They weren't going to have any drama. So people knew of my brothers, moved into this new area. My brothers were setting a pace. So I got a little bit of leeway.
Are they monsters like you?
They're actually shorter than I am, but they're stockier, and you know, one of them was like a second dan black belt. Yeah, bro. So, and
what are you saying?
Yeah,
what are you saying?
He liked to exercise his martial arts, bro.
Yeah.
And he actually went on to become a martial arts teacher. But when you're younger, in your teens, and at that stage, they might have been 20, 21. I might have been like 14, 15. It's just us against the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
For about 10 years of that life, from about 9 to about 19, I was very much in that me against the world mentality.
Did they feel lonely?
Yeah, very, very, very. I've struggled a lot in my identity and self-worth, purpose, value. Because I think, unfortunately, the seeds were trod on at home. The seeds of self-worth, they never got to come to fruition. I think my confidence was crushed at an early age. So by the time I became a teenager, my brother was out of prison at this stage, and I started selling cannabis at 16. And ironically, my dad died at 16 when I was 16, and that was a really weird season of emotion for me to process, because at one stage you feel like freedom. But on the other hand, I never seen anyone to this day. Obviously, my dad's been dead for 20 odd years, but he never backed down, showed a fear, even showed fear, bro. Never.
Yeah.
And we inherited that.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
So the old school lot, that's how they were conditioned, bro.
Yeah, but the problem is with that, I always found like when you say that, man, I resonate with that a lot. But the problem is when you start showing that you are tough and you had no fear, the problem is that the emotion side gets paused. It gets put paused as well. So you don't get that like, well done, son. Unless you've done something bad or something, it's like, well done, son. You've done good. You get a little pat on your shoulder and you'll be like, yeah. Where's my hug? Like, where's my sit down and talk to me, Dad? Where's that? All that lot goes because I think, especially in the olden days, right? And you know, I can't sit there and say your dad done good, he done bad, because I never met the guy. I only know from there. But I think what the old school parenting is you have sons, and because it's so shit for the older generation, if you grow up soft, you won't be able to live in today's world. But I think when you think like that, is you don't accept today's world because it did get easier. We just made it harder.
Yeah, wow.
You understand?
Yeah, wow.
We as people made it harder, but it actually got easier.
Yes.
Yeah. So what your dad was doing was trying to create you for the future in the world he lived in then.
Yes.
But not seeing that it's going to get better.
Yes.
You understand?
Absolutely. So, and just to elaborate on that, to be clear, my dad come from Jamaica. We know hurt people. He had an awful upbringing. So he and my mum done the best they could with what they had. And unfortunately, it might not have been, the outcome might not have been great, but their intentions were.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, true.
So and of course, I've found forgiveness through my dad, with my dad's situation and the way he raised us, and forgiveness in myself. Because I understand things as an adult what I didn't understand as a child.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that was a difficult period because I was trying to process. My dad was like my hero and the villain. I loved him, and then why did you treat us like that? Why did you treat us like that? I love you.
Yeah.
There was a lot of conflicting feelings that I never got to address. And by the time, like I said, I was 16, I began selling cannabis. 19, I began selling Class A's. And 25, I was basically had access to firearms and any Class A that I wanted. And college and stuff like that wasn't a choice. I left school without any GCSEs.
Yeah.
Game over.
I know that, man.
Yeah, bro.
I know that. So when you said you started selling weed, well, how did you get connected to that? Was it already at hand? Was it like something that it was accessible within the household, or was it like was you able to just or did you get groomed into it? Where was the buzz? Were you getting?
No, that's a great question. Yeah, that's great. My oldest brother, he was somewhat of a drug dealer. And he introduced drugs to the family. And one way or another, all of us got involved in that.
The family business.
If you will, if you could say. And so I had access to the connect, if you will, because it's a family member.
Yeah.
So I remember the first thing I ever bought was half an ounce. And my brother explained to me what to do in order to cover my cost. And if I was going to smoke, because obviously back then I was just dealing for cover my cost. And it's weird how that snowballs from being down the park and getting a draw on a Friday night to 20 years later, you got a few boxes of Coke or whatever the case may be. You're strapped, you've got a bag of money or whatever. And you don't know if you're going to get robbed or the deal's going to go smoothly or if you're going to end up putting work in. And I never planned for it to happen. Do you know what I mean? I'm not proud of anything I did. And I always say if I could take back every drug I sold, trust me, I would. Because I wouldn't plan
That's
for
powerful, man.
Yeah, man.
It's because, like you say, you go from smoking bud in a park or draw in a park and you're chilling with your friends and that lot to looking over your shoulder and like twitching the curtains and like you see police and you're ducking out, you're just paranoid as fuck. It's just like...
Definitely, bro. And I say that about the police, bro. I don't know about anyone else. Maybe I was paranoid, whatever. I hold my hands up to it. But there wasn't a siren that went off, that I wouldn't... Like, your heart starts racing.
To be fair, you can sit in the chair and turn the smoke alarm off.
It gets to that stage, bro, where like a few cars behind might put their sirens on, and you're like, "This is it, bro." Like, and it's just not what people make out it is.
Yeah, like the thing is, especially like I go back to the whole social media thing, and when it comes to glorifying drug dealing with wads of money, you see all the flashy clothes and that, and that, like, then they're not saying they're like, oh yeah, I got off, I beat a case, I've done this, I've done that, but the whole time whilst they were beating the case or anything like that, they were probably shitting themselves, going to jail, like your freedom being took from you for years, man. They don't say all of that stuff. They just make it look good, which is appealing to all these young kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is a scary thing, man.
Yeah, it's terrible. There was 2 occasions I got arrested, and for whatever reason they didn't press charges. But the second occasion I was arrested over in Croydon way, sort of thing. And I went to Fulton Heath police station and they kept me the weekend, and in my wallet there was just less than £1,000, and they kept me for the weekend. Obviously they take your bits off you. Then a day later or 24 hours, it feels like 2 days when you're in a cell, but it's they let me go, and I went to reception to get my stuff, and I got arrested with like it's just like I was smoking a spliff or something like that. But they wanted to go through the whole procedure, search my house. I lost counting the amount of times that the family home's been searched. What with me and my brothers.
Yeah.
Anyway, when they finally let me go, I went down to reception to collect my bits, and my wallet was empty. And then I said, "Where's my money?" And like the two officers on reception was like, "Oh, Dave, I weren't working the weekend. Was you here, Dave? Did you see his money?" And then Dave's like, "I ain't seen any money, mate." And I was like, "You lot, bro."
Mate, that's crooked as fuck.
Mate, that's part of the game no one tells. Do you know what I mean? That's part of the game. And like, I bought a new Beamer once. It was when the white 1 Series came out. Bought that showroom legit, ordered it, paid it, deposit, paid a bit when it's coming, paid a bit when it arrived. You can't leave the showroom without insurance. It's a showroom.
Yeah.
And then the police pulled me over a couple of days later, and they were like, "We smelt residue, cannabis residue." And I was like, "That's got to be a lie," because at the time I'd stopped smoking weed years earlier.
Yeah.
I never had anything on me. I knew that. So I was like, "You couldn't have done." So they pulled me over, they searched the car. And then they said, "We're going to pound it because it's coming up on the system as uninsured." So I was like, "This is madness, bro." Who's going to buy a 35 grand car at the time? I think it was 38. And not have insurance. I was like, "You lot are kidding." They took the car, bruv. Left me on the side of the road, And then they charged, at the time, I think it was $150 a day in the pound.
Yeah.
And then you got to prove. So they sent me a letter. I still got the letter to this day. All road offences have been diminished or whatever. You can pick up your car, bring along the logbook, insurance, etc., and prove it's all legitimate. So I said, "What's going to happen with the $150 a day?" "Oh, you're going to have to pay that." So it was at the end of the week. So basically something like I ended up having to pay like $1,000 to get my car off of the police who took it. And it was legit.
Mad.
I got my motor back. So it's like, people are not telling you about these things that happen because the police knew when I got arrested, like I said, they said, "We know what you do. We know about your brothers. It's a matter of time." So then they started making life hard for me. And obviously you're worrying about other dealers, whatnot. So there was a time I was so paranoid, bruv. I was sleeping on top of my bed. My house had the shutters, like the white shutters and that. They would just have a slat open. I was sleeping on top of my bed. I wouldn't even get in the bed. I slept fully clothed, and I'd get changed when I had a shower. Because I was thinking police might raid, enemies might raid. You're just constantly on the edge.
Yeah.
So all of this glorification about this lifestyle, I'm not saying there aren't people doing well off of it, but I know it's far and few between.
Yeah, it's true that.
And then that led on, and I did that up until I was about 25, and the opportunity came up for me to start mentoring young offenders for the council as a volunteer. And like I said, having been arrested, police would ask me what I'm doing in it, and I ain't had a job for 20 years.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
Yeah.
I ain't got much of an alibi. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to start mentoring these boys, because what better alibi? So I did that, and it was really flexible. You could do it in your spare time, whatever. And I had a lot of spare time on my hands, obviously. And then my manager at the council is actually the manager of the council. We were having a team building day, and everybody who worked for the borough had to go along, whether you were a volunteer or what, you had to go along. And I went along reluctantly. But when I was working for the council, when I rocked up, they gave me a little desk in like this office space, and I'd go in and I've got £350 jeans on, £400 jumper, and I'm spinning round on my chair at the desk while everybody's, the desk is made for a computer, innit? But I was like, I've made it, bro. I've got a desk in the council.
Where's my name?
I was looking for a little plaque or something, bro. And there was a fella, the manager guy, he would say, like, "Hello, Claude, how are you?" Very well-spoken, reserved individual. You could tell he was grounded within himself. So I would always, morning. And then I was thinking, why does he always come in to ask me? Everyone else is ignoring me. Mm-hmm. Why is he taking it upon himself? And then lunchtime, obviously, I would invite anyone to lunch on me. because I want to show everyone how much money I've got, because I'm so empty at this point.
Yeah.
And then the final example, Rob will always politely decline the lunch because he'd have a packed lunch or what have you.
Are you still heavy in the game when this is all?
Heavy, full speed ahead, fully active. And then I park one of my cars outside the office windows so everyone could see. And then my manager will cut cycling or catch public. Real grounded, earthly guy, bro.
Sounds it.
So when we come to the team building day, we all had to do an event, an exercise, and you introduce yourself and say one thing that no one else would know about you. And just as an example, there was a lady who said, she introduced herself and she said, what no one knows is after work, I buy a bar of chocolate and I eat it on the bus before I get home, and my husband don't know. So I was thinking, these lot are squares. It's that sort of dead banter, like it's just one of those days. So I was like, and then, after she said that, bless her, I thought, what's he going to say?
Yeah, to make you wonder, because when you said that to me, I thought to myself, as soon as you said that to me, I was like, oh man, like she has to down a chocolate bar, so her husband don't know. Like, what is she going through? Because I remember being a kid and I'd have to sneak that chocolate bar in, because I knew I was going to get slapped. So if that's an adult doing that, I'd have been like, what's he doing?
Well, I think they were so square. They're probably the sort of family that plays Scrabble in the afternoon just to relax.
I'd be used to saying, I can't spell for shit. I'd be looking at it like, this is called Elephantophis. And they go, what's that? The big thing with a trunk. Elephant. I'm like, that's how you spell it.
Bro, I've never played Scrabble a day in my life because of that, bro. So then when it come round to this fella, I was thinking he's going to say something so boring, isn't he? And then this fella stood up, really calm, collective, little shirt on and that. And he introduces himself and he produces a little box out of his pocket. And I was thinking, and he opened the box and got a little cross out. And he said, my name's such and such, and what no one knows about me is I'm a Christian and Jesus changed my life. And I kid you not, bro, I don't know what happened, but it's like time stopped for a moment. Because I thought to myself, I spent life conditioning myself since I was 6 with that gun for anything that might happen. And a lot's happened. But this little fella had a courage in him, because I'm not standing up in front of 100, 150 people and telling them I'm a Christian and Jesus Christ changed my life, bro.
That's crazy,
That's bananas, bro.
Especially in the mentality that you're thinking. You're like street, and it's like, who the fuck is this guy? I've got to stand up there. Those of you who don't know, I'm a drug dealer. But this guy just got up and just dropped it on you with a cross. Boom.
Didn't bat an eyelid. And I was like, do you know what? This fella's got nothing that I've got and everything that I want. Cool. Yeah, bro. All that bravado I had, it was me empty.
It's mad that you say that, because when you was just telling that and you was like, you focused on transportation, so that was his push bike. You homed in on that straight away. And that you homed in on him like only person, seeing that you care. So like he's, all of a sudden he's got your attention because one, you've never had another guy come up to you, because it's always been the old saying, like hand slaps and this lot and stuff. This guy's come up to you and straight away he's got you because he's like, how are you doing today, Claud? So you're like, hang on a minute, why are you asking that? Like no one asked me that.
Genuine
so that was a man, that's like I pinpointed that straight away. You got his transportation because you were coming in your flash car. Rolling up, taking everyone to you turn around and be like, why is this guy not accepting my free lunch? Why is he not thinking he's eating his boring packed lunch? But really, he was everything that you wanted to be.
He was so assured of himself. He didn't need a flash card, bro. He didn't need me to go and buy him lobster and all. He was just assured of himself, bro. He had a
man, you eat lobster at lunchtime. What's the matter? My God.
Bro, do you know what's amazing, I'll go on a tangent for a real quick second. Actually, I won't, because it's glorified, so it doesn't even need to be glorified.
No, but like the thing is with why we do all of this, is because it's the whole like the glorification of it all is like, yeah, I'm living in this moment. This is what it is. I'm eating lobster. I'm driving around in a BMW. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And then you pull it right back to the guy on a push bike.
Exactly.
Yeah,
brother.
that's like curtains are open.
Yeah,
that's fucking reality.
Yeah, I love that.
We're living in an alter ego world where we're eating lobster.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And this guy's eating a pat lunch. He's riding a push bike. And no matter how much you've gone with it, you've got your Rolexes on, your £300 jeans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This guy had his little tie on. He's got his push bike that you could, like nothing.
Nothing phasing him, bro.
And you wanted that over everything that you had.
Yeah, and I needed it because the life I'd lived, bro, I was so tired of, bro. I didn't care whether I lived or died because it's part of the territory. You can't care about life and do that. Brother.
Yeah, like,
you know
life becomes like that's when you put a price on it. Your life is worth this bullet.
Yeah,
you know, and your life only becomes, and your freedom, most of all, bro. You got to remember, time is something that you'll never get back. Yeah, you put a price on that with lobster, with a car, with your gun. That's your price. That you put a price on something that you can like. But if someone takes your time, you're like, don't really get pissed off of it.
Yeah.
But if someone takes 50 quid off you, you're ready to put a bullet in them.
Yeah. Over 50 quid.
Over 50 quid. Yeah. So you'd sit there and if you flip that around and you use that mentality on time, you might use time a little bit better.
Yeah, you might be a bit wiser about your time.
A bit nicer too.
That's right, brother. That's right, brother. So after the chap said that, I said, mate, I've got to find out what's he on? Because he was what we've discussed. So I grabbed him and he said, do you know what you up to, Rob? I said, I'd love to. He said, I've got to shoot off, Claude. I'm terribly sorry. I've got a train to catch. So I said, I'll give you a lift to the train station. So he's like, no, honestly, Claude, it's fine. It's only up. I said, no. Please get in the car. And he's like, no, it's fine. He's my manager. Like, so I'm like, bruv, get in the car, innit? So he looks at me and I'm like, I'll give you a lift. Like, at this stage, I thought, if they fire me from my mentor or whatever. But, so he gets in. I drive him around a little convertible Audi I had at the time. So I don't know what he was thinking because I was a volunteer mentor. But I said, mate, fascinated by what you said. I was wondering how I could find out more. So we chatted and he said...
Did he think you was taking a piss when you said it?
Do you know what? It's mad, Paul. He looked at me like... And I'm looking at him and I don't know if he thought I was nuts or if he thinks I think he's nuts. Do you know what I mean? Because we had that moment like, is he taking a piss? And he said, have you heard of Alpha Course? And I was like, he said, it's an introduction to Christianity, you could do it. So lovely, dropped him off, shot home, Alpha Course starting the next day. Signed up for it, went along. It's a 10-week course. It's very open, no pressure. You don't have to pay a thing. You have a meal, you have a discussion, just like what we're doing, and you can ask questions. So I went along, and bro, you made such a good point a moment ago, which I just want to touch on. When we were talking about the hand slapping and how you greet people, I went along to this Alpha course. And obviously I emailed someone and there was a woman I was dialoguing with via email who was there. She was the host. And as I arrived, she said, you must be Claude. So I was like, yeah, hiya. So I walk in and she puts her hand up. And I'm like, bro, this is catching me off guard, bro, because I'm used to the whatever, anything other than civil dialogue.
Well, when you're involved in a negative life, when you walk in, you're gauging everybody.
Everything, bro.
So when you're alert, you're on point. So like you've got your mood face on, you've got this like edgy. You're like trying to be bad, but everyone else is looking at him like, fuck, this guy needs saving. We need to save him.
And then Mary Poppins, lovely lady.
And then you're like,
you must be Claude. I'm just like, what? So she shakes my hand, invites me in. We have a talk. There was about a dozen other people and another co-host. It's a great session, bro. I left and I was feeling really like intrigued but joyful because I was like, these people are cool. That no one was trying to brainwash me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
And if they was, I wasn't aware of it. How about that? Yeah. So then
maybe they were, and because you were so acceptant of what was happening, that you took it in. It's the same with rehab. Yeah, or you want to change your criminal life.
Mm.
You have to want it to accept it.
Yes.
And maybe you was just ready then to accept it. Maybe they were brainwashing you, but because you was ready, and you wasn't 100% sure that when this happened, it come over in waves so fast that it was just made you blind to what they were maybe doing because you was ready to accept.
Mate, that's such a good point, and I'll touch on that because when I say brainwash, I mean, you know, sometimes there's this misconception that, like, don't go in the church, they'll hit you over the head with the Bible and you'll get kidnapped.
I'll burn.
Yeah, like, so none of that was going on. They were just cool folk. And I went back the second week and the lady was there on the door again, and I was like, and this took place in a little coffee shop, lovely little place, and I stroll up in it. And I'm ready for her this time. I park my car across the road and around the corner.
Yeah, so she didn't see.
No one's going to see.
So did you do that because you didn't want these new people that has viewed you as the guy that walked through the door, you didn't want them to start viewing you in a negative way so they'd carry on accepting you?
I did that because at that stage in life, just a 40 grand car could raise suspicion just from the police. I reached a stage where if I got out of mark or something and the police drove by, they'd just stop and question me. So even when I had nice cars and that, I used to park them away. I was so psychologically screwed up that it was just normal to just park it away from the scene. So when I crossed over, I walked up, saw her at the door, banged my hand out, like I got her now. She opens her arms up and gives me a hug. Hi, Claude. Like, this woman is not judged, bro. No one's hugging me in life, bruv. Me and my family don't even hug each other, bro.
How was that feeling?
Bro.
Did you hug her back, or was you just shocked that she hugged you?
I was so
you just
shocked.
like there like that? She was like, oh.
Mate, you know what you're talking about? Because what's funny, is as she hugged me, I hugged her back, but I looked over her shoulder. And
mate, you can look over everyone's shoulder. What the hell, man? You're like 7 foot tall, you ain't.
And one of the co-hosts, the wife of the chap helping, she giggled, bro, because she knew, innit? Like, she must have saw the surprise. So that made it even nicer, though. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Then I went in, and the co-host, he's in there, young fella. And I go in, and I said, hello, mate, like, how's things? And he's like, yeah, good. Boom, hits me with a hug, bro. And I was like, mate, like, you know where we came from, bro? You can't even compliment somebody. Yeah, like the biggest the hug get is like on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's boom. You know? And that's now. That's manual. A guy come over and hug you, like. Yeah, bro. You get called names for that, bro.
Yeah, so that must have been mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. And I look at the guy, and he's a young fella, and he's got a wedding ring on. And I was like, mate, I don't know anyone married, bro. It's just my parents, God bless them, you know what I mean?
Wow. So you've grown up in such a wild way that you surrounded yourself with a team of bachelors.
Yeah, actually, that's great observation.
So when you surround yourself with a team of bachelors, obviously connecting with a woman, it would just be a quick see you later.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you not only with crime that you're setting yourself up.
Yes.
You are producing your life to be alone.
Absolutely. That's great observation. You're absolutely right. I hadn't thought about it before. But that's exactly what took place. All of my relationships, like later on in life, I look back and I said, I don't know if I've ever had a proper relationship, bruv. And like, at the time I was in my mid-30s. I was 32 at that time. But when that did resonate with me, I said, have I even had a proper relationship? Because they were so dysfunctional. I was dating strippers and girls,
holla.
It was wild.
Well, the thing is, like, the thing is, if you're bringing yourself up in this criminal world around bachelors, men, you know, don't have a bird, like, you know, just go from one to the other, strippers and this and that. The only relationship you've got yourself to aim towards is your mum and dad's, and you said that was dysfunctional. So, as far as you're concerned, you're switching yourself off without even realise from a partner in crime. And when I say that, I don't mean in a negative, unlegit way. I mean, like your partner in crime that's going to have you when you're got a shit day and you're laying there and you just need someone just to be like, Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Never had that.
with being on that negative side of life, not only are you just heading to either two places, jail or the crematorium, funeral place, you know, you're going to die or you're going to go to jail. You switched yourself off to the possibility of a life partner.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I ain't got any kids to this day. Not saying that won't happen, whatever happens will happen, but you're so right that I said, I'm not having kids with anyone back then because you can't trust them. I had trust issues, bro. I was a hot mess. I had trust issues just sleeping with people, stealing women's self-worth to create my own value. So I'm just sleeping with them, leaving them, buying them, look how good I am. Whatever you want, I'll buy it for you. I'm like, you know, I could do anything. And then leave them and crush them just so I can see what I've done. They're crying for me and I felt empowered. So it's for you to cry for me, I must be worth so much.
I think from 6 years old, I think you fell in love with a gun. And I think that you built yourself up around the gun.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you ever stepped back and thought about it like that, but you've put your whole life on hold from a thing that you should never have even had at 6 years old. You know, and this gun has took away probably so much more than what maybe you've realised, in a sense of it killed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing that you need to be able to create your future is time. And that's your younger years to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
And I think once you've took that gun in your hand at 6 years old, that consumed you.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, mate. That's such a good observation. Because I think at that point, I fell in love with the idea of the lifestyle and what the gun represented.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
So I think that was your wife.
Yeah.
The gun was your wife, it was your mother,
Yeah.
it was your auntie, it was your gran. Do you know what I mean? That was everything.
It was my value. It was my credit, my self-worth was what that gun represented, what I thought, which we now know is a lie.
Yeah.
And what I thought comes along with that was what I fell in love with, the romance of that idea.
Yeah, that's a good one. I fell in love with the romance. That's perfect.
I did. And then 17 years later, I'm on week 3 at this course, and we get asked if you would like to invite Jesus into your life. Like, what?
Thing is though, even seeing your face there when you're like, would you like to invite Jesus into your life? Like, it's still like, you're still thinking street and you're still thinking change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're at this place where everyone is believing in Christianity and they're trying to bring you onto their newfound path.
Right.
Right. When they say something like to you, do you want to bring Jesus into your life? You're still like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because you're still in two worlds. You're trying to live two worlds, which I think is a difficult place to be in.
Yeah.
Because you could manifest the problems in one world.
Yes.
You can manifest the goodness in another.
Yes.
But trying to juggle both of them at the same time, it get you twisted.
And do you know what, bro? That's what I think. In all honesty, no one was trying to brainwash me, and it's not an approach that they take. Because if it was something that I had to do in regards to the rules and the booklet is 1, 2, 3, and I've got to turn up, oh, bro, I can't live up to my own expectation. So I'm not going to meet anyone else's, bro, honestly. But what was mad is they just welcomed me as Claud, bro. That's why I kept going back, because they was just... Yeah. So when they give you the opportunity, should you want to invite Jesus into your life, bro, I was so screwed up, yeah. Do you know what I said? This is the truth, bro. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. You know why? Because I'm going to prove them wrong, innit? These nice people that's done nothing but welcome me with open arms. I wanted to destroy what they believed in, bro.
Ah, yeah, I see where you're going with it now.
I wanted to stamp on it. And you know what's mad, bro? I was so broken and empty, yeah? I used to say I just need one more year of freedom.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
Yeah.
And then just give me 2 more years and I'll make a meal. And
you build
it's all
yourself
crazy.
up on
Yeah,
excuses.
you're gambling with freedom.
Yeah.
So I was so empty, bro. I was like, I'm going to stamp on this thing. So I said, not only am I going to invite this Jesus into my life, I said, in my, like, we had a quiet time to pray and invite him, and I, closed my eyes. And I was so screwed up. I said, Jesus, if you're real, and if you can do what these people say you can do, I dare you to come into my life and make a change. I dare you. And you know what, bro? I'm not going to lie to you, yeah? It was so silent, you could feel it.
Really? Almost like the presence.
Bro, I kid you not, yeah? And at that moment, yeah, there was something in me that said, if you're going to change and you're going to make a change, now is that time. And the presence, I never knew, is what they say, you're encountering the Spirit. You're crossing over to, you're encountering the Spirit. And I don't know if I did or I didn't, or what it is or what it wasn't. All I know is there and then I had a conviction in my heart, bro, that if you're going to do it right now. And that was it, bro. I opened my eyes and I said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to follow this thing until it don't work out for me anymore.
When you open your eyes, were you emotional?
Yeah, bro. It was hella emotional. In my heart, I was emotional. I didn't outwardly cry externally because I was like, no one's ever going to see me weak in this lifetime or the next.
Yeah.
But internally, I was wounded, bro. I dared the man, if you're real, come into my life and make a change, innit? And what was mad is I left that week, bro, and the hope I left with, was undescribable. I went to bed and I remember waking up and feeling liberated, bro. Like I was like, nah, there's more to life than this, innit?
Yeah.
And I was like...
Was that the first time you woke up and you started thinking change needs to happen?
Bro, I woke up feeling charged. That was the first time I felt the hope of change can happen, bro. Honestly, I can only tell my truth here today. I've travelled up.
Yeah.
It's a long journey,
and
I can only share my truth, bro. And I woke up feeling hopeful, bro. And I was still selling, I was still active, bro. And I was like the happiest drug dealer in the world, bro. It's so weird, I tell people.
You give them the wig and God bless.
And that's for free. And we make a joke out of it because life's hard sometimes. We're not glamorizing it or glorifying it. And then the mad thing is, I got some coke. I had some coke. I think it was about 2 Oz or 2 in a Q, something like that. And the first time, bro, in near 20 years, I looked down at the bag, so I was weighing it up, and I saw it for what it was. Like, when you're around this stuff every day, even a gun, as extreme as it sounds, can become normal.
Yeah.
Normalized, I should say, because you become so desensitized to it. And I looked down at the bag of coke and I saw it for what it was, bro. And I said, surely, something in my head, I said, surely, bro, this isn't my contribution to the world while I'm on it. Yeah. Because I had 3 clients die off of my line. When I had a network, I had 3 people who, for whatever reason, unfortunately died, but I was selling coke to them and I contributed towards their death. And then I looked at that bag of coke some years later, and I said, wow, is this what I'm doing?
I always wonder if, the people that do sell the drugs, like my brother was a heroin addict. I called him a functioning addict because he was still maintaining job and family and stuff. And I always wondered if anyone was who sold the drugs, whether they saw the money or whether they see what they're doing to the world. You know what I mean? Because like you say, they're contributing to just black.
Bro,
blackness.
Black pit of destruction. Nothing more than that. And I just said, bro, something, I don't know what I'm here to do. I don't know, labouring, sweeping the street, whatever, but it can't be this. Just black. So I met with the priest, told him everything, bro, because I thought that's what they do in the films, isn't it, guy? Confessing that.
Yeah.
So told him everything, and he's like, you know what? You're going to have to get a proper job, Claude. And that was all he said, And I was like, right, this might be alright, bruv. And I gave up. I switched off my line, bro. My line had made me, I dread to imagine how much it had made me. I switched off my line, applied for a couple jobs, got a job as a barista.
What did you do with the gun? Did you switch that off too?
Yeah, no, what's mad is anything I had around me, long went, but the gun, the vision of the gun, the mentality, the association with that had to die, bro. So you have to deny yourself in order to prosper. So like, I was watching something once and a guy said, success is sacrifice and what you're willing to give up. That's what the real success is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it will cost you your happiness if you're willing to give it up. So at that point, I was like, whatever, the gun, the knives, the lifestyle, the women.
What was easier to give up, the drugs or the gun?
You know, firearms was easier to give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they was an accessory to the lifestyle. They was an accessory to the lifestyle. The hard part was the lifestyle, not the drugs, the lifestyle in which you bought. Because I never knew, innit? I went on a good Saturday night, bro. I've made 3, 4, 5 G's before. And I wasn't like import and export. I was wholesale to retail. So my whole desire was to just be the biggest street trader in history. Because it's all ego, innit? It's all ego and perception. So I just wanted to be the biggest shotter to ever walk the face of the earth. So I was just obsessed with that, but I never knew giving up that, I was earning £6.50 as a barista, £6.50 an hour. So then the cars had to go, they went real quick. Yeah.
Everything disappeared.
Everything disappeared,
the
bro.
problem is with that, did the people disappear too? When all that started disappearing, did all the people you thought were your friends, did they all stay or did they disappear too?
But at that point, my social circle was very small. But what was foul is my brother, everyone thought I went mad, didn't it? Everyone thought I went mad to give up the lifestyle that I was living, so I was doing fairly well. And, he rang my mum and told my mum, I've gone mad. And I heard my mum in the other room, bartering with him as to why I'm not mad. He's not mad. No, he's not mad. He's trying to do the right thing.
How does that make you feel? Hearing them have a conversation about you, who you are as a person, what you want to be as a person. How did it make you feel to your brother, who you are looking up to and you've done business with, and he's been there, and your mum
introduced me
who
to the
birthed
guy.
you?
The guy what showed me.
Oh, really? Yeah. So your eldest one that you looked up to, how did it feel that they were having this conversation about you and you could overhear it like you weren't there?
Yeah, it was hurtful, bro. But
did you ever tell him? Did you ever tell him that you heard him talking?
Yeah, I told my mum afterwards.
You tell your brother? Did you tell your brother you heard him talking?
We've conversed since, but it wasn't. Unfortunately, now my brother doesn't talk to me. Some of my siblings don't talk to me.
Maybe they'll watch this video today and they'll hear your story.
Yeah, maybe, But I mean, my desire to improve as a human being and seek God was greater than my desire to sell drugs.
Real purpose.
Real purpose, bro. Real purpose. We were born for that. We were born to be great.
I think we're all born messengers. It's just how we get that message out there.
It's lovely.
And that's a choice that's based on how we act as people. I took so much away from my community that I feel like now is my time to give back.
Yeah, bro.
So, and when I say I took so much, bro, I took a lot.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? I took a lot, and I put a lot of fear amongst the streets.
Right.
A lot of it undercover. You know what I mean? A lot of things that I'd done, people don't even know I'd done because I'm covert.
That's right.
I'm on my ones. It was me and my brother, or I'm on my ones. No one knew I'd done much.
That's right.
But I know I'd done it.
That's right.
I know what I took away. That's on me. That ain't on anyone else.
That's right.
So my message now is pure.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. If I get tested, you're going to see the rough. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I ain't in no position. I don't want to get tested. I
Right.
want to carry on with my positivity.
Yeah.
I want to get that bit like the mission you're on too.
That's right, bro. And like we say, bro, I'm not scared of anyone else. I'm scared of me, bruv. Because that's what makes me scared of everyone else. Because I don't want to be pushed to a position where I'm forced to do something I don't want to do. And thank God I haven't, since I became a Christian, my life has changed. For whatever reason may be. And then, you know, after I got the job in a coffee shop, I got a job at a church that I'm currently at now. I started working in a homeless shelter. That was an eye-opening experience. And then it was in the homeless shelter and while I was working at the church that I realised I wanted God in all areas of my life. Not just on a Sunday or when I feel like telling someone I believe in God. I really wanted Him in all areas of my life. So I decided to start studying theology. That is what and I'm becoming a priest. So you study theology in order to go to priesthood. And hopefully, God willing, next June I'll get the collar and I'll be priested into the priesthood. Thank you.
My fingers are crossed for you, man. Like really, and I can't wait to see it all happen for you. Like for real, I can't.
Thank you.
Going back to being helping out in the shelter.
Yes.
Man, did you ever stand there when you was like at the shelter, look across the room, and be like, "Bro, I'm responsible for some of you people being here," you know?
Of course, bro. Of course, bro. It's a lot. That's what I'm saying every day now, bro. I can get up and look in the mirror and face that guy. You know what I mean? I get a good night's sleep. I ain't got any money, bro. Like, but I get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
And you know, to give back to those people. I never repair the lives that I've damaged. I have to accept that.
But some of the richest people in the world ain't got cash.
You're right.
They've got a heart.
Amen, bro.
You know
exactly. And it was when I was in that homeless shelter, if I'm honest, right? Before working there, even though I was a Christian, I still viewed homeless people as objects, not human beings. They're just furniture in the street. And then when I worked at the homeless shelter and started speaking to people who had been IT consultants, bro, CEOs, and fell victim to severely unfortunate circumstances and lost loved ones, lost houses, lost properties, and became homeless, bro. Homelessness can happen to anyone overnight, bro.
I always say this.
Honestly, it's scary, man. And when I saw that, like, another thing I'll say, and you know, not every homeless person is misusing substances. I know the general perception is they're either alcoholics or crackheads, and unfortunately a lot of them are.
Thing is though, when you're on the street and it's freezing cold and you've got nothing, why the fuck do you want to be awake to it? Why do you want to be in reality to the pain and the suffering? So I understand why some of the homeless people are off their tits, because they haven't got the balls to kill themselves. Not saying that they should, but they haven't got the balls to die. So what they do is they make themselves numb to it. And if it means taking drugs to get through that day, because, you know, I'm walking out of McDonald's, or not me, because I would buy so if someone was sitting outside McDonald's, I'd buy them food, I wouldn't give them cash, I'd give them food, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm coming out, I'm sitting there, if I see a homeless person sitting there, I'll sit back, I'll gauge. You'll see all these people coming out laughing, joking, putting their change in their bag, probably throw it at their friend or something as a joke. You know, I've seen that happen. And then I've seen the homeless person get up and scurry across there and pick up that 20p, you know. And it's like, man, they could have just done that. You know, their friends might not have been like, oh, well done you, but that would be there later.
Of course.
You know, so when they then see someone sitting in the street and they've got change, they might sit there and go, wait a minute, duly give that person that, I'm going to give it to him too. Changing lives just from, like, you might not see it then, but it's stored. You
It
store
takes
that.
a lot of courage to do the right thing. And you know, homeless people want to live as well. I wanted to live before. That's why I changed, bro. I wasn't happy with we don't get, like they say, everybody dies, but not a lot of people live. You know? And I want to live, bro. And I want to help other people.
But people don't understand that phrase, though. They don't understand that phrase. Because people will hear that and go, yeah, obviously I don't want to die. But they don't understand the the living part.
Yeah.
They just think of it as like breathing every day.
Yeah.
Nah, you've got to live within the living.
Yes, brother.
You know what I mean? Make that change.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy being bad.
Yes.
It's so hard being good.
Yes, it takes a lot of courage. And bro, there's riches and there's wealth. Riches is of the pocket. Wealth is of the spirit. You'll get rich, but you may never get wealthy. I want to be wealthy, bro. And you can't obtain that financially. So thank God I've been given this opportunity. And yeah, the book's out and that.
Yeah, the book looks amazing, man. Thanks, I love this. Tell me about this front cover, man. Where did this come from? Yeah,
well, like we discussed, the two life-changing moments of my life was encountering that gun and encountering God. They were the two life-changing moments. So that's how I came up with the title. I actually started writing the book when I was in therapy while I was still drug dealing. I began writing in 2010 because my therapist said it would help vent. Writing can be therapeutic.
How good is it though?
Yeah.
How good is it? I've done so much therapy, and there was this one woman, Stephanie Carter, and I talk about her all the time.
Yeah.
But she saved my mental state, mate, because she said, write a book.
Yeah.
Write a book.
Yeah. So my therapist said, just start writing, and I was like, I can barely spell my own name, let alone write. You know what I mean? And I started writing, and some years later, I put it on the shelf. I shelved it for a bit. It was just a bunch of papers and files. And some years later, someone said, you know, you should write a book. You've got a story to tell. And I was like, well, funny enough, I might have a book.
Wow.
You know, and I dug the paperwork out, and I finished off the book, and thank God a publisher found me interesting enough to want to publish it, SPCK Publishing. And boom, the book's out. And just God willing, you know, it might help change some lives or inspire individuals to change their lives.
This book would make, I can't read, like I said to you, we're waiting on the audio book, I'm loving it, I can't wait for the audio book. But I look at this, and even though I can't read properly, so I can't connect with a book, but audio, I connect with, bro. I'm telling you, I want that, But you see this book would make me look at it. I love the fact that it's black and grey, and then you've got the light at the bottom. Oh my God, the right colours, everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to coordinate with the Black Saint London, you know what I mean? And I love what you guys are doing over at Black Saint. I think your movement's great, bro. Your message is powerful. It's very current, and I pray it goes from strength to strength, bro.
Yeah, I'm on it, man. I'm on the mission.
You are.
And you know what? My biggest mission is just spreading the word that like the negative life just isn't like I was on the phone earlier on to Razor Smith, and I said to him, he said, what is your purpose for your message? I said, my message is great because I want everybody who's been at the pinnacle of their criminal career, real gangsters, real people that lived this day in, day out, to tell the world that it was all a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, brother.
It's not worth it. Because the only thing you need to grab hold of is not money. It's not reputation. It's time.
Yeah, brother.
Time to do the right thing in yourself and for others. Because what you put out, you will get back.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
Yeah. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
100, mate. I didn't believe none of that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the baddest, man. You know what I mean? I was like, do you know who I am? Yeah. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
Validation.
Yeah, validation.
Yeah.
Give me that power, man.
Some validation in the streets.
Well, if I'm living in your dark mind, I'm winning.
Brother.
I'm winning.
The better.
Yeah, because you'll see me walking down the road, you know what you're going to get.
Yes, yeah.
But man, how wrong was I?
Yeah, brother.
How wrong was I?
Brother.
I didn't find God. I wasn't shut off to it. I wasn't, you know, I had some family members. I had an uncle, he was a pretty bad criminal, and he was all for the kingdom. You know,
it's always the crooks that are, bro.
Yeah,
they hung next to Jesus, brother. The crooks and the criminals.
He was for the kingdom, and he you know, tried to get me many times, and I just wasn't opened up for it. I know what I wanted to be, and that was a gangster, and I wasn't open to it. But I'll tell you what, man, there was this one time, my brother had died, and I had all these flowers all outside the shop. And if you go on Google and typed in Dean Stansby or my name, Paul Stansby, you'll see pictures come up of my shop, and it had all the flowers outside, all the ones he had on his coughing at dinner, and I was standing there and I was just lost, man. I was lost, and I was just standing there, and I'd ordered a kebab, right? And this guy turned up, and he was Muslim, yeah, and they knew me anyway. Everyone around here, they all knew us, and he goes, "What are you doing, Paul?" And I said, "I don't know, man. I don't know." And he was like, "You look lost. Talk to me." And I was there talking to him, and he goes, and then he started telling me about his dad and how he lost his dad. And I said, "How did you deal with it, man?" Because his dad was stabbed as well, believe it or not. Like this kebab dude that knows me by name and I know him by face. We connected.
Yeah, bro.
You understand? So he goes, "I turned to my God." And I was like, "What is your God?" And he started telling me about his faith and that lot. Bruv, if he would have turned around and said to me, "Come with me now," I probably would have got in the car with him and gone.
Bro. Yeah,
you understand? Because at that point, I think I was so vulnerable that I needed a change to happen, because, like, I wanted revenge, but I didn't get it. So I'm floating. So I see how, for you and your journey, needing your change, how you fell upon God, I felt like you was ready.
Yeah, bro. And they say, I didn't find God. God found me, man. He found me amongst the rubble, bro. And just, like little things like, I didn't realise this till I started researching, yeah. But Jesus walked with the gangsters, bro. I'm not even just, bro. When you read that's why I fell in love with Jesus, bro. Like, and there's people he hung out with. It's an amazing story to read, bro. So it was natural that someone like me and your uncle would be around them.
Yeah.
Because that's who Jesus was around, bro. So it's just little things like that. And yeah, man, just on the subject, like what you're doing for knife crime is fantastic.
Thank you.
And now, as like yourself, I've spoken to 1 or 2 prison governors, and I just want to let people know that knife crime now, conviction comes with life, bro. Yeah. So you can end up getting lifed off over a knife.
Yeah, but the thing is, and what the biggest thing is, and I'm glad you brought this up, because you are getting lifed off now.
Yeah.
You're getting big sentences now. Bro. But the problem is when you're creating the pain that you're even with yourself, with your gun, with your drugs, that when you're causing a negative environment for yourself, i.e. a prison sentence, you are not the only person that's just been given life. Your mum, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, your aunties, everyone around, your wife, your kids, everyone around you has also been given that sentence.
That's right.
And they're not opening their eyes up to this. They just think, "I'll ride this out. It's me. It's all about me." It's not. Right. It's about everybody that you live and breathe for.
Yeah. And there's power in change in it. To take a negative, like what we spoke about today, and turn it into a positive, there's power in that. And we were made to be great, in my opinion. We were made to be great, and it's great that we were made. And God doesn't make mistakes. And the amount of entrepreneurs I've met, criminals who are geniuses, bro, and we've been channeling our energy in the wrong places for too long. And now I'm telling you, bro, cross that line of legitimacy. Once you go legit and get some of this legal bread, you could outwit so many
a lot of these criminals. A lot of these criminals that are running like 10 staff, like drug dealers, like
amazing, bro.
And they're handling thousands of pounds. How the hell they're not in
just channeling their energy in the wrong place because they know they got it in them. They were made to be great, bro. And they don't realise they're channeling their energy in the wrong place and throwing their lives away behind nonsense, bro.
So your whole life, you've tried to be something that you now look back on as the worst thing that you could have ever been.
And I was living a lie.
And now your message is pro. It's positive.
Absolutely.
It's in the right direction to be able to help other people. And with that, you now go into jail, prisons.
I've done some work in prisons, and like I said, I've been in that. And at the moment, the look is we're trying to work with estates and on estates. And God willing, we'll see more churches opening up. And, hopefully one day we'll see one church in every estate in the country. And there's hope through church, bro. There really is. There's opportunity, if nothing else. you know. And yeah, hopefully next year I get the collar, I get ordained, and then possibly I'll start my own
listen,
church.
you've got the hope.
Yeah,
you've got the power to be where you are. You're going to get this, man, and I know you will.
Yeah.
And one day you'll get your own church.
Yes, brother.
You know, so your message to people that are out there, it doesn't matter how bad or how lost you are. The door is always open.
The door is always open.
The door is always
open. And I challenge anyone, bro. I don't even know why I want to say this, but I share it. I challenge anyone to take what I said, yeah? Go into a church, ask a Christian, ask anyone if Jesus hung with the crooks. And you'll see, bro, there's space for us in this world. You know, take what's owed to you, man.
Well, when you say that and you think about it, most of the people that do end up falling in the world of Jesus, God, are people that have been lost.
Yeah, bro. It's a place
been
for
in
us,
prison.
Bro. Yeah, bro.
Been in mental
for
institutions.
Yeah.
You know, and he has, for you guys that have accepted him into your hearts, opened his arms up to all the people that have been lost.
That's it. Yeah. Go and get your claim what's owed to you, man. But it's been a pleasure, bro. Thank you.
Man, it's been absolutely amazing. Like, I clicked you from the day you come through the door and the way we messaged. So, listen, your message has been pure. I love it. I'm going to follow you on your journey.
Yeah,
I'm going to be with you everywhere. And we'll keep everyone updated with your collar situation.
Yeah.
Man, I'm buzzed for that. And where can you get your book from?
Yeah, if you Google Claud Jackson, Claud without an E, Guns to God, or you can go to Amazon, Waterstone, generally all of the places available online, or finally you can go to SPCK Publishing and order it direct.
Excellent. And the audio is coming.
The audio is coming. We're working
on the audio is coming because people like me that can't read, man, I need that book, you know, because I'll tell you what, when you don't open yourself up to that market, you do lose people like me because I love it.
It's coming.
I see it.
Yeah.
I need to hear it.
Yeah, it's coming, brother. It's only been out a couple of months now. So I'm going to get that audio pop. We're going to make it happen.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, brilliant. Thanks for coming on today. I really appreciate you. I wish you all the best for the future. And let's hope this message saves lives, man.
Yeah, man.
And we'll put all the stuff in the links at the end of this video. We might even be able to do like a direct link to any of it. So yeah, man. Go across, get his book. Claud Jackson in the house. Thanks, brother. Nice one.
Nice one.